Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, Opian E-Learning, Learn English Online. This is Muhammad Ali Sumra with you teaching English language. In this my video lecture, I'm going to explain adverb phrase. Adverb phrase. An adverb phrase is a group of words that does the work of an adverb and often plays the role of telling us when, where, why, or how and even occurred. Here adverb functions as the head word of the phrase. Let's have another definition. An adverb phrase can be a prepositional phrase that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. An adverb phrase tells us how, when, where, or to what degree. Let's talk about how an adverb word can be an adverb phrase. An adverb phrase may be preceded by pre-modifier and less common followed by post-modifier. Let's talk about how an adverb word can be an adverb phrase. An adverb phrase can include pre-modifier plus adverb or an adverb plus post-modifier. Post-modifier is less common. Here are two examples of adverb phrases as pre-modifiers. Number one, he runs very fast. In this sentence, very fast is an adverb phrase, describes an action, runs. This phrase is made up of two words. Very is a modifier here, describes, modifies, tells something about an adverb word. So we can say this is an adverb phrase and pre-modifier adverb phrase. Number two, you walk more slowly than me. More slowly is an adverb phrase, describes action, walk. And this verb phrase is made up of two words. More is modifier, which modifies, which tells, which describes something about adverb word. And we can say both words are adverb phrase, describing, telling something about an action. These are both examples of pre-modifiers. How a word modifies an adverb and how both words become an adverb phrase. Now, let's talk about post-modifier. For example, he works hard enough to pass the exam. In this sentence, hard enough is an adverb phrase describing the action. In this phrase, enough is a modifier. It comes after an adverb word. That's why we call it post-modifier, and it is an adverb phrase. As you all know that an adverb is a word describes an action, an adjective, and an other adverb. Same as adverb phrase functions like an adverb describing an action, an adjective, and an other adverb. Let's have some examples, adverb phrases describing verbs. For example, you answered rudely. In this sentence, the word rudely is an adverb word, not a phrase, just it is a word. It describes, it tells something about the action, how the action happened, how somebody answered me. It talks about the manner. As same, in the second sentence, there is not an adverb word, but adverb phrase. For example, you answered in a rude manner. In this sentence, in a rude manner is an adverb phrase. It functions just like an adverb word, describing the action, how somebody answered. This phrase also talks about the manner. In the both sentences, there are adverbs describing actions, how action happened. In the first sentence, there is an adverb word. But in the second sentence, there is an adverb phrase. Both describes how the action happened. We can say that when we expand an adverb word, it becomes an adverb phrase, functioning same just like an adverb. Let's have some more examples. He ran quickly. In this sentence, quickly is an adverb word describing an action. In the second sentence, he ran with great speed. With great speed is an adverb phrase describing same as how the action happened. In the first sentence, there is an adverb word. In the second sentence, there is an adverb phrase. Let's have third example. Teacher taught us carefully. In this sentence, carefully is an adverb word describing how teacher taught us. In the second sentence, teacher taught us with care. In this sentence, with care is an adverb phrase describing same as, just like an adverb word, how teacher taught us. Both are adverbs. One is an adverb word and other is an adverb phrase. In this slide, we learned that how adverb phrases describe verbs. Now, let's have the examples how adverb phrases describe adjectives. The first sentence, he is a very good man. In this sentence, very is an adverb word describing adjective good. It is a word, not a phrase. In the second sentence, he is a really very good man. In this sentence, really very is an adverb phrase describing the adjective. Here is an adverb phrase. In the first sentence, there is an adverb word. Both describe adjective. I expanded adverb word and it changed into adverb phrase. When somebody expand adverb word, it changed into an adverb phrase. Let's have another example. Our budget is well sufficient to pay. In this sentence, well is an adjective word, not a phrase, describing sufficient. Sufficient is an adjective word. Well is an adverb word, not phrase. A same, our budget is hardly well sufficient to pay. In this sentence, hardly well is an adverb phrase, not an adverb word. This phrase describes an adjective sufficient. And this phrase functions same just as like an adverb. Let's have an example of how an adverb phrase describes another adverb. For example, Flip sings loudly. In this sentence, loudly is an adverb word describing the action how Flip sings. While in the second sentence, Flip sings rather enormously too loudly. In this sentence, rather enormously is a phrase and too loudly is also a phrase. Both are adverb phrases. One adverb phrase describes another adverb phrase. Here is very important thing to understand. The problem is that it often produces weak and clunky sentences like the one above. So be careful not to overdo it. Let's have some more examples. Adverbial phrase of time, adverbial phrase of place, and adverbial phrase of manner. Let's talk about, first of all, adverbial phrase of time. He runs in the morning. In this sentence, we come to know when he runs. It describes the time. In the second sentence, I walk back after work every day. In this sentence, we come to know when I walk myself after the completion of my work every day. Adverbial phrase of place. In the first sentence, he is waiting in his office. In this first sentence, in his office tells the place, informs us something about the place. Where somebody's waiting in his office. Here we are talking about the place. Second sentence, don't hide behind the trees. Behind the trees is a phrase describing the place where somebody hides. Now, adverbial phrase of manner. In the first sentence, my dog was running like a tiger. In this sentence, like a tiger is an adverb phrase. This is a phrase of manner. It tells something how the dog was running. Second sentence, you were working in a lazy way. In this sentence, in a lazy way is a phrase. It is a phrase of manner. It also describes how you were working. Let's have the conclusion of adverb phrase. An adverb phrase is simply a group of two or more words that function as an adverb in a sentence. For example, he speaks wonderfully. In this sentence, wonderfully is an adverb word, not a phrase. If I expand this adverb word, it will change into adverb phrase. He speaks in a wonderful way. In this sentence, in a wonderful way is an adverb phrase. It functions same just like an adverb word. In this my video lecture, I explained adverb phrase. I hope so you must have understood adverb phrase. Thanks for watching.